in terms of bringing people into confidence, especially where there was not a very clear line of sight into how what their operating day-to-day decision making was and how that translated to EVA benefits. How did you convince those folks? Give us a sense of how both the mechanics of it, meaning how were EVA being computed back then at the point of operating decision making, and for folks where that line of sight and the linkage wasn't very clear, how did you manage to win their confidence?
Yeah. So luckily for us, we were already on marginal costing. So decisions considered only the costs which were relevant for that decision, whether it's variable, fixed cost, total cost, or a mix. We were not considering the impact on capital in our decisions, not explicitly considering it. EVA considers the cost of using the capital because capital is not free. Whether it's fixed capital, whether it's working capital, every dollar that we invest in the company in fixed or working capital carries a price, carries a cost to it. So EVA levies a capital charge on the entire capital used. So if any of our decisions is impacting the capital use, we need to factor it into the discussion, into the decision, in addition to the impact on profits. So I'll just give you an example. Let's take a purchase manager. How do we convince him? And what does he do to improve EVA? He doesn't have a clear line of sight. So earlier, the purchase people were focused on reducing the cost of purchase, the unit cost of purchase. So whenever they had option to source from, let's say, 3 to 5 vendors, they would go to the cheapest vendor. That was a common behavior in the purchase people. We gave them, as part of the EVA implementation, we gave them actually 5 levers, saying that there are 5 levers which could be EVA accretive. Unit cost lowering is just one of the levers. And if any of the other 4 levers is getting negatively impacted, then unit cost lowering is not the ideal decision. And these 5 levers, we explained to them that cost per unit is only one of the levers. Credit period that we get from the vendors is another lever, because that decides how much capital is locked in terms of working capital. There are 3 more levers. One is the supplier reliability. So out of these 5 suppliers, if one supplier is much more reliable than everyone else, it would mean that we need to carry less safety stock to avoid stockouts of the input material in the factories. And that's a positive in terms of EVA. So look at the supplier reliability, look at the lead time of supplies, because if a supplier can deliver in 2 weeks and the supplier takes 6 weeks to deliver, we need to cover for the risk during or the demand disruptions during the 6 weeks of lead time. So shorter lead time is preferred. And the last lever was the MOQ, the minimum order quantity. If a supplier insists that he can deliver only in batches of, say, 1,000 of a product, and another supplier says that I can deliver in batches of 100, then the batches of 100 are preferred, because it results in lower lockup of working capital, plus much faster to respond to any changes in demand. So look at all the 5 levers. Each one has its impact on EVA, and we help them in calculating the impact of MOQ, the impact of lead times, impact of supplier reliability, apart from the credit period and the unit cost, and then take a call. So what it did was really amazing. We moved to many suppliers where the unit cost was higher than what we were paying earlier, but the overall decision was EVA accretive, and it prompted us to move in terms of establishing better vendor relations so that the reliability improves and the vendors offer lower lead time and smaller MOQs. We were struggling earlier whether to have a single supplier or multiple suppliers. I think companies still struggle. There's no clear answer whether we should have single supplier and carry the risk of a stock out, or have multiple suppliers and spread the risk. We established the concept of a unique supplier, which is a very unique concept in purchase, which is neither single supplier nor multiple supplier, but a unique supplier concept. And that improved the vendor relations and brought us very close to the vendor managed inventory and just in time inventory. So all these concepts came out of our EVA thinking. We didn't implement vendor managed inventory because Toyota was using it, or just in time because it's established practice in Toyota. But EVA thinking led us to these concepts. And similarly, all the concepts, Toyota production system concepts on the factory, whether it's SMED, focus on reducing changeover time or improving the machine reliability through TPM, all those concepts actually came out of our focus on EVA. So the entire operations across purchase, manufacturing, distribution, sales, marketing, everything changed because of our focus on EVA. I could go on and on, hundreds of examples, but I think a couple of them should be good enough.